Congress faces an end-of-the-year deadline this morning. It has a mountain of unfinished work, but there are signs that negotiators will announce a budget agreement before the House goes home on Friday. Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill is with us. Senator, good morning.
Good morning.
So how significant do you think this agreement will be?
Well, I'm not sure that it's going to solve all of our problems, but it solves a major problem, and that is this town has been incapable of compromise and negotiation for months on end. So I think the shutdown, when the House Republicans caused the shutdown a few months ago, I think there was such political ramifications that everyone all of a sudden straightened their shoulders and said, we've got to get in a room and we've got to do our jobs and be reasonable.
So many people going to the funeral of Nelson Mandela will not get in the way?
I don't think so. I think while there are many that are going, I think most of the work will be at the end of the week, and I think people will have an opportunity to return and we can get our stuff done.
Senator, I want to ask you, you're on the Armed Services Committee, and we heard the Defense Secretary Hagel tell CBS News that it is a very real possibility that because the U.S. and Afghanistan do not reach a deal, that all U.S. troops could pull out.
Well, we cannot have our men and women on the ground when they are not protected by an agreement with the country that they could never be prosecuted in the courts of Afghanistan or be charged with crimes. These status of forces agreements are essential. And if Karzai will not sign the agreement, then our hands are tied. The president's hands are tied. On the other hand, they have an election, Nora, in the spring. Karzai will not be in office anymore. And some think, including the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, Carl Levin, that we need to wait because even if Karzai signed it, we can't rely on him going forward because he's only going to be in office a few more months. We maybe should try to tread water until a new president is elected in Afghanistan in the spring.
Yeah. And let's talk about it as we're wrapping up the end of the year. The latest polls are coming out, calling this the worst Congress ever, saying it's the least productive. What do you say to that? And is there a way to answer it without blaming the other guy?
Well, I think we all need to take responsibility. That's one of the things that, frankly, folks at home get really irritated at is no matter what goes wrong, we're so anxious to say it's their fault. And what we do in Washington, we're really good at that, blaming the other, because this is about elections and power. I do think that when you have a divided government, it's always going to be ugly. I mean, the people of this country sent the president to the Oval Office, sent a Republican majority to the House and a Democratic majority to the Senate. You can't really expect us to hold hands and sing kumbaya because we all believe that we were sent with a different set of values and priorities.
Does it seem uglier than usual?
Well, I think that, what has happened is the middle has really been cannibalized. I'm proud to hang out in the middle. I'm proud to call myself a moderate. But what has happened is the districts have been drawn so safely in the House that what people are really worried about is a primary. Well, if all you're worried about is your base on the right or the left, it takes away the incentive to come to the middle and compromise. And that's why I tell people all the time, call your congressman, call your senator and say, hey, have you compromised lately? Typically, our phone calls are angry and not about compromise.
What is your read today in the Senate on the bills to combat sexual assault in the military? Who has the upper hand in terms of the legislation that is likely to pass?
We are going to have historic reforms in the defense authorization bill. We are doing procedurally things that are difficult to do because they would not allow us votes on these measures before we left before Thanksgiving. But in the bill, we will take commanders' authority away from being able to fool around with verdicts after the fact, but we're going to continue to hold commanders accountable, which many of us, especially those of us who have been prosecutors, understand that's the best way to protect victims.
Senator McCaskill, thank you. And can we just say to the people that you have moves? Who would have thought that Senator McCaskill at the Kennedy Center to Snoop Dogg, party
Snoop,
over here.
Snoop, party over here. And by the way, you guys
can somebody scream? Can somebody scream? And Senator McCaskill's,
yeah. It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a wonderful night.
It was a great night for all the party people. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.